Hi, I'm going to demonstrate and explain the Martin Simpson style guitar frailing that I do, since several people have expressed interest in that on a Facebook video that I posted. So I learned this technique from Martin Simpson maybe 35 years ago. As I remember him telling it, he came up with this technique when he was growing up in the north of England, and he had a tenor banjo, but he was listening to recordings of clawhammer banjo and not realizing that it was done on a 5-string banjo, and he just tried to imitate it with a 4-string banjo, and this is the technique he came up with, which he later adapted to guitar, and got a 5-string for frailing a banjo. But I'm going to start with the banjo, and I'll just show you the tune I'm going to use to demonstrate. So we're in, mountain minor or sawmill tuning, which is G, D, G, C, D. It's a G sus4 chord. And Shady Grove goes a little like this. So in clawhammer banjo, basically you've got the short 5th string here, and you've got a technique on your right hand that involves a brush down. The thumb lands on the 5th string. On the way back up, it plucks the 5th string. And of course you make the brush accurate. You can strum more than one string or just one, and you can also double thumb. Double thumbing is when the thumb, instead of landing on the 5th string, it lands on another string. And so it's very, very often that in this pattern you remove every other thumb. In other words, you just don't play the thumb on the way back up, and that gives you the bum titty rhythm that's very common. So switching to the guitar, whoops. And so I've got the guitar tuned in dadgad, which is also a sus4 tuning. If I capo at the 5th fret, I'm in G, so same tuning as the banjo, except you've got an extra bass string, so you've basically got the 4 long strings of the banjo in the middle. You've got the 5th string on the top, and you've got an extra bass string, which I love, comes in very handy. I often wish I had a 6-string banjo that had that other string. So the technique is like this. You've got to have a thumb pick. Now I should say too that this tune, if you were playing with a fiddle player, it would be an A, so you'd be capoed up to 7 on the guitar or capoed to 2 on the banjo. But right now I've just got it where the banjo would be open. And so you've got basically 3 fingers involved. You've got a thumb, a 1st finger picking up, and then you've got the middle finger placed behind the meat of the thumb and flicking off quite violently. Not, I mean, it's what Martin Simpson said is like something nasty is on the muscle of your thumb and you're trying to get it off. So this, yeah, if you're just starting to, if you want to start to practice this technique, don't do it too much at first because it can really affect this tendon. And if you get any pain from it, stop. But after a while it becomes quite relaxed and doesn't hurt at all. But how the technique goes is, I'm going to demonstrate it on the first string. Here, I'll get a little closer. So the thumb goes down, the first finger comes up, the flick goes down, the first finger comes up. Thumb down, finger up, flick down, finger up. And this flick takes a while to get it accurate so you can hit a single string with it. But if you hit adjacent strings, it usually sounds fine. And sometimes you want to hit more than one string. So in the same way that on the banjo you can, so what happens is that the down thumb and the down flick are the brush. The up becomes, it's analogous to the thumb on the fifth string of the banjo. So you can leave out every other finger, first finger, and you have that bum titty rhythm. So that Shady Grove sounds like this. So I actually can play anything I can play in clawhammer or banjo. I can play note for note on the guitar, except I now have another bass string, so I can use it. So that's how it goes. So I would suggest, if you want to learn this, start practicing it on one string. Practice it on every string. And practice spreading it out. Say, put the thumb on the sixth string, the finger on the first string, and the flick on the fourth string. Whoops. See, it is hard to get accurate. And so a lot of people do guitar frailing exactly like the clawhammer banjo, or the frailing the banjo, which is cool, but it makes the drone becomes the bass string, and so that's cool. That sounds good, but I don't know, it doesn't really imitate the clawhammer banjo as well as this technique to my mind. And the other thing about this first finger, the first finger becomes the frailing or the clawhammer banjo thumb, and sometimes you have to double thumb. So what do you do then in a case like this in Shady Grove? have to bring the first finger behind the string that the thumb just hit. So thumb is on the second string, first finger on the first string, again with the flick, and then thumb second string, finger third string. And that takes a while to get accurate on that, and after 35 years or whatever I've been doing this, I'm still not always accurate. But there you go. That's how I do Martin Simpson style frailing.